In our second Pool B final to meet in the grand finals, we have So Far So Good versus the 2017 UK champions, Team Mako.
And first up, they're going to be playing Tower Control on the new Albacore Hotel.
Once again, we'll be then going back to Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard.
Then we'll be rounding it off with Clam, Blitz, Kelp, Dome, unless
we hit a game 4 where we're going to Splat Zones in Walleye Warehouse.
And finally, it would be Tower Control on Camp Triggerfish.
Should we go the distance, the whole 9 yards?
If it truly is closely fought, that will be where it's decided.
Now, Team Mako, obviously last year's champions, they beat Team Who in the EGX Grand Finals. I believe Team Ninja from Team Who has jumped over ship to Team Mako now.
Oh,
so I say jumped ship. It was just a shift in lineup. That sounds like a kind of like some kind of piratical adventure.
It literally sounds like a mutiny.
Yeah. God, well, it's not that bad. It's just, if everyone in this community is friends at this point. They want to try with a new team. They're going to try with a new team.
Everyone meets at different events.
So we have So Far So Good here, having a little sit down in these wonderful esports grade chairs.
Yes, nicely warmed by Team Static.
They're going to be getting comfortable and setting themselves up, and they will of course be going up against Team Mako. So it's going to be a tough one. So Far So Good though. We had a typo in their name the entirety of their first pool, so I was calling them So Far Do Good.
So Far Do Good, which just sounds like they were this kind of evangelical, just like really good little group that do charity work.
So far
so good.
Yeah. That has been shifted now, so apologies to everyone who was going, Bowie's getting it wrong, what a mug. Not any more of that happening. Team Mako will be their opponent, and they are coming on stage now. So Ninja on the far left. Then I believe it is Sweegly, Kaji, and then on the far right is Lemon and Lime.
Are Sweegly and Kaji sisters?
Yes.
Ah, I thought so.
Yeah, they've been playing together since the beginning, I believe. It took me ages to remember which was which, but I believe it's Kaji with the hat and Sweegly with the hat and Kaji without. So I've been trying to remind myself. But yeah, they've been playing together, obviously, Splatoon for a while. If you do already follow the Nintendo UK versus Twitter, you would have seen a tweet sent out by the Nintendo UK versus Twitter, which was kind of giving you some stats about Team Mako, and they have collectively a few thousand hours. I know that Ninja's put in about 2,000. Sweegly put in like 1,200 hours.
Whoa.
Dedicated players.
And we were talking earlier just about focused teams. Ninja has the steeliest stare I think I've ever seen.
Is it steely or is it like a 1,000-yard stare? I'm not sure.
No. It is. There's an element of apathy to the stare, which in some ways makes it all the more terrifying.
Yeah.
It's this, you are beneath me, opponent. Look.
Oh, really?
Look, there you go. You can see it in full swing.
Yeah, literally. Steely or 1,000-yard, we're not sure. But it seems pretty...
You guys decide.
Seems pretty confident. They're a good team, obviously, and then it's going to be some cracking stuff. In their pool semi-final to get to this point, they didn't get splatted. Once.
You're joking.
I'm not joking. It was 3 complete wipes. Bam, bam, bam.
Not one splat out of the entire team. That's insane. Well, we'll do a splat count on this one and see whether they get a bit more of a fight put up.
It was quite the impressive game from them. The coordination.
That's amazing.
It was just taking control of the objective and then pushing so far and just playing, coordinating so well to kind of prevent themselves from ever being in trouble. It was impressive.
Fair play to them. Well, they're up against a really good team. Oh, Insta
so far,
story is occurring.
Got to get on my Instagram.
Exactly.
Nintendo main stage.
Well, how often are you on the Nintendo main stage?
Me?
Okay, yeah, you a fair bit more.
Oh, well, yeah, I have my reasons. But no, for these players here, it's going to be quite an exciting mode for them. Obviously, some of them maybe have never played on the main stage before. And we've talked about in the past, how playing at home with your friends or playing down here on the tournament zone may be a bit different from being upstairs with the lights. Upstairs, on stage with the lights in front of all the audience who are all watching, and obviously you guys at home, they know that this is going out there. Yeah, so will that, not saying it will, but will it affect their mentality? We don't know. It shouldn't if you're one of those kind of more experienced and confident players, but who knows what can happen.
It depends on your focus.
Oh,
So
yes.
they are loading up as we speak. I think we're nearly there. We're just waiting on 2 more players. And then we'll go into the first match, which is tower
One
control.
more player. The ticks are coming out strong and fast.
Oh, we are so close. Oh, no. One more tick.
2 ticks.
2 ticks.
1 tick. 2 tick. 1 tick.
We'll be right with you in 2 ticks.
Yeah. Okay. Focus.
Oh, there's the stare in full force from Ninja on the left.
Don't look him directly in the eyes. No. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Okay, everyone's all locked in. They're both ready. The battle's going to begin. It is going to be our first round. If I've completely forgotten, it's just completely left my mind.
It's tower control.
Oh, New Abercorn Hotel.
Hotel.
You know when you have this moment, I was just thinking Kelp Dome. It just kept going in my head. Okay, so yellow team is going to be Mako, and so far so good in the purple. We've got Ninja, Lemon, Sweegly, Kaji versus Nomad, Wug, Mikan, and Clover. So the thing about Team Mako is they're very, very aggressive, very, very fast, and they can make decisions and switch very, very quickly. Mikan with a trade, though. 1 for 1, Swag. What? Swag? Wag. Oh, what? Not Wag. Swag and Wug. Wug.
Well, already that no splat record that Team Mako has been officially splatted.
Yep. Kaji getting onto the tower now, using that splatling gun. It takes down Clover, using that long range as a pressurize, pushes back when the suction bomb comes out, gets back to the tower, and will start pushing forward. Checkpoint time.
Getting off the tower to dodge that Stingray.
Yeah. Wug only has to really hold it down there. Doesn't need to do too much more. The checkpoint has been reached. Ninja on the tower. Getting pressurized. Loses the 1v1 to Clover, who pushes it back.
Nice work there from Clover. Oh.
Yeah, a little bit too close. Lemon had that number.
Lemon very slowly edging around.
Wow, very nice. Sees Mikan, immediately comes into the inkjet and 1 shot.
That was a lovely stealth play there. Like, I think on a game like this, especially when it's tower control, it can be really tempting to move quickly, but sometimes biding your time and leaping out and doing a surprise attack is powerful.
As you saw, it just completely took their opponent by surprise. Immediate 1 shot and down as the tower resets. And so far, so good. Are trying to push a little bit back against Team Mako. Lemon getting the flank sorted and covered, just holding in. Doing a good job of just getting into the opponent's base, not really focusing too much. They have the points lead, so they relies on the teammate to kind of hold the tower in place whilst pressurizing the enemy base so they can't get back into position. Clover going down from Lemon on the side. Nomad being pressurized by the inkjet. Will Lemon get the KO he needs? Yes. Lemon with a 2 for O on that side. Good work from him, pressurizing so hard as the tower makes its way to checkpoint number 2.
Squiggly pushing really well there. Barely any pressure from So Far So Good because the rest of Team Mako are just keeping So Far So Good engaged away.
Yeah. It's just so strong from Team Mako, just the way that they're just, seeing, seeing the map and just kind of controlling everything is so impressive. That's one of their biggest strengths. 2 minutes to go, 17 seconds, 17 distance units left to go. I'm going to call them splat meters.
Splat meters, I like that.
The splatometer is going off the charts.
Only 11 left.
Wog now on the tower. They are driving it home. Well, center, then home.
Now it's Wog who's pushing extraordinarily well while Team Mako are engaged elsewhere.
Yeah, they got taken down eventually, and then they just had to reset the entirety of their pressure. Sweegly getting taken down by a very nice shot there from Wog. Reset. Points. Pressure. Wog. Stingray. Splatted. Just say one word. One word things. Jumping. Swimming. Inking. I don't know.
Oh, splatted out the sky nearly there.
Right, so 3 down for Team Mako. So far, so good. Needed to try and reset if they can. Slow down the push from the tower. 1 minute remaining now.
What can be done in this final minute?
Mako just, again, showing why they are, how they are so strong and why they are so strong. Consistent zone control. Pushing so far, so good around. Wog trying his best to just be as mobile as possible. Sweegly, again, with this inkjet.
Ooh, nice.
20 seconds remaining now.
Nomad was just trying there to stay around the side, but splattered by Lemon.
10 seconds on the clock. Lemon taking Wog out. It's looking pretty much over now for this first game. Team Mako in 3 seconds taking game 1. And there it is.
Nice. Focus faces still all around.
They know what they need to do. Interesting stuff so far from them. I mean, obviously, they so far so good. Did a really good job of just making sure that that wasn't over immediately. They were really kind of holding Team Mako in place for a long time.
Yeah.
Managed to get the splat and you know, reset the aggression from Mako and then try to push it back. But when Mako like regrouped and was just ready again, that pressure builds and builds and builds.
Absolutely, it was really nice to see someone actually putting the pressure on, so that it wasn't an easy win, it wasn't a clean sweep. Like the tower did change hands a few times.
Yeah.
So we'll see as we go into our next few rounds. I don't think this is going to be as an easy ride for Team Mako as they've had earlier.
Yeah, for sure. It's so far it's been like perhaps the match has kind of pushed them as much. They have got Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard coming up next, so Rainmaker, that super aggressive kind of like fast-paced gameplay is maybe going to play in favor of Team Mako here, but we'll see obviously what So Far So Good can bring to this table. They're really solid at kind of like being able to kind of disrupt and get into opponents' strategies. So if they can use that and then keep that pressure going and pushing forward, they might be able to put a little bit more fear into the eyes of Mako.
Sure. We'll see. Keep an eye on their eyes.
Yeah, we'll see. Come back and then Ninja's just maybe. You never know. Could you imagine if it was? It's just that particular face.
And then the wind changes and his face has to stay like that forever.
Oh man, the wind. That is one of those like old wives' tales you always hear.
Oh, it is.
That isn't a phrase I've heard for a long time either.
The wind changing.
Well, just the term old wives' tale.
Yeah,
that's one of those things. Yeah.
And we're going into Rainmaker on Sturgeon Shipyard.
Okay, we do like this one, as I said. Well, I like it. I don't know about you.
I like it too.
You
I
do?
like it too. No, it's good. It's really good.
So,
once again, we've got Team Mako in the yellow ink. So far, so good in purple.
interesting. We have Wug changing over to a roller, and we have the double blaster comp coming out from Mako with the rapid fire blaster as well.
You're so right about Team Mako's aggression. They were right in there immediately. Rainmaker in hand.
And you can see from this double blaster comp, they mean business. They are going in. Look at already pushing back. And that's Mikan down as well. 82 points on the board. Kaji pushing forward, holding back on the sides. Biding their time. Together, this united front pushing forward, all of them together.
Doing well, you can really tell they're communicating, saying where they're going to go next.
Kaji, don't you dare finish this off. What is this? Going for the finish, and wow, Team Mako.
That was brutal. Gosh, what a wipe. You are absolutely right. Team Mako looking quite pleased with themselves there. Almost ninja there, just, well, of course. Because it totally favours that style of aggressive play. Unhappy faces from So Far So Good.
They have a lot of work to do. They do know that they can't be complacent here. They have to be aware of the situation and just take it in its stride. Nim's having a little chat with Marco, make sure they're all right. They're going to be going into Kelp Dome now for Clam Blitz. This is going to be really hard.
Really hard. And because, it's one of those modes where aggressive play, like you've got to, the opposing team, we could see Team Mako really pile on the pressure on So Far So Good. But because there's so many different, I guess, like, vantage points to follow, because like anyone can have any number of power clams. So Team Mako really going to have to communicate constantly.
Yeah, for sure. And and we said we have this bottleneck that they need to break, and I think that as we just saw that the amount of aggression they can put out might be able to break those lines.
Yeah.
It's a very linear way into the actual base, but as you say, that kind of the maelstrom that is the center of Kelp Dome can be a really, really dangerous place to get caught up into. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play around that and how they're going to move from that neutral zone to the aggressive play.
Yes, absolutely. And considering that short range, and if they all stick together, if Team Mako stick together, so far so good, would almost do quite well to lay down as aggressive kind of fire, try and pick them off, because Team Mako at their most powerful when they're all just together communicating, pushing.
Yeah.
You want to split them up almost and fragment them.
Yeah. And exactly, you need to kind of they are so united, as you say, and that fragmentary kind of disruption is just where you need to be to kind of lock down 1, 2, 3 and go in,
Exactly. But speaking of going in, we are booting into
the game.
Yes, yes we are. Clam Blitz on Kelp Dome. Keep an eye out for that center of the map area that we were talking about and that choke point.
Okay, so
once again, we've got Team Mako in the yellow, and so far so good in the purple.
Yep, indeed. Okay, a couple of dualies on both sides. Splatling gun on one.
Yep. And you've got Ninja. There was a really good flank move there. You had Ninja splitting off from the team, going around the sides, and just forming a pincer movement. Again, so far so good.
So what he's doing right now is kind of opening up escape zones.
Yeah.
So when they're moving forward, a way to get back. You see, that's exactly right.
Goes down that ink cover fire.
Goes for the baller. Hopefully one of his teammates will pick up the clamp behind. One splat down, gets taken out. Nomad gets taken down 2. 2 for 2. 2 for 3 in the favor of Team Mako. Can they find their way in now? They're getting pushed back by Kaji using that height, and the Splatling drops down. Ninja now, Kaji
is back up.
So far, Mako managed to get down that shield once. 23 points on the board for them.
But even looking at the map from this aerial view, look at the amount of yellow ink they've laid down. All of those choke points in the center that we were talking about are pretty much entirely yellow, which will give Team Mako a huge advantage in terms of movement.
You can see that so far so good at only using that, they're kind of their mainstay way out on the far side, which cannot be invaded by the opposing side. Kaji now, you can see that they stretch the opponents around to that side. And already, Sweegly winning out a 2v1.
Really
and
aggressive.
In they go. Yet more Clam. Sweegly pushing forward, pushing back. So far, so good. Over and over again. The Inkjet finishes it up, and then they're going to have more Clams into the shield very shortly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Resetting the timer as well. Kaji grabbing more Clams, pushing back. Lemon being forced off the shield. Wow, look at that. Over the top. Getting, going up, throwing Clams in from the back. And 35 points to go. That's strong.
Really strong. Oh, splat there for Sweegly, who had been doing really well.
Kaji throwing the power clam to a teammate, goes out immediately with the stinger, with the stingray to send Ninja in. Ninja gets in, breaks the shield, clams a hole.
And going to collect more clams, getting ready to, I mean, this is...
This is, oh my word, no, that's good. That was well played.
That was well played. That was excellent. Really, really well played there from Team Mako. And you can see it in So Far So Good's eyes. They're like, that was fair played.
Yeah, that was good. It was the handoff. It was that almost American football style kind of through the Clam blitz ahead, the power clam ahead, immediately brought out the Stingray, covered, opened the fire to go in. It was a power clam up, straight past to grab the other ones, came back and just finished it off. It was just such awareness and precision. And
so well placed, and their awareness of that map, being able, we were talking about the routes that they opened up, and just even, you could see when Team Mako first even were out the gates as the map just started, they all kind of split off with 3 down one side, Ninja around the other. Like, they absolutely had a tactic in mind as they began the game. Yeah, and I think the way that they were, because we were always talking about how do you get past that choke point, how do you kind of like really pressurize your opponent to move back, and that's the thing is, they have that, they keep hold of that back corner, so they have the Stingray just to kind of like pressurize the opponents to scramble and move, and that's when suddenly their defense becomes much less competent, and you can find those holes and puncture those holes and get in. It's like, all about the jabs.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, imagine like a suit of armor, and basically what by, the Stingray is, kind of like stretching your opponent so the chinks in the armor are showing, and then you just puncture the armor. Done.
Absolutely.
Over.
Popped.
G times 2. And that means that Mako do advance to the grand finals to play against Team Static.
Well done, but do you know what? So far so good are up on stage as we speak, collecting their goodie bags, and like they've played really, really well this whole tournament.
Yeah, they've done a really, really good job, and to make it this far as well, solid play from them.
Absolutely, this is something that we forget. Like they're on stage, and there's this kind of sense of, oh well, they've lost this game, but they've had to win so many games just to get to this point. So they've done well. Yeah, so they'll be happy with, they obviously wanted to get that qualification through to the finals, but again, as we said, it's not the only chance they'll get. You will see this team again for sure. If not this year, maybe next year, but most likely this year you're going to see them again. There will be more events coming up. Stay tuned, do the thing. But we are going to be bringing Team Static back onto the stage, as Mark and Nims are doing right now, and we will be having our grand finals between Team Static and Team Mako. It's all come down to this. And having just seen Team Mako play, like they are in the zone, they are fresh, they're ready to go. But they are fresh. They are fresh. What's that? This is the Stay Fresh. Is it? Stay Fresh. Okay. Yeah, you have to remember. Sorry, I'm not as down with it. It's okay, it's completely fine. So our grand final, we have a few little highlights here actually. Thank you very much, instant replay people, for getting the instant replays. This is Kaji just using that long range, just kind of consistently push back. You can see, it's all about this thing. They don't always have to be pushing the tower. You just stay on it all the time. You already have the lead, even no matter how small it is. Get the tower, push elsewhere. Because if you don't move and be proactive, they're going to come to you and be able to pressure you. Get what you need, push forward, and then come back when you're safe. Absolutely. Some people just make the mistake of staying glued to the tower in this kind of fear of leaving it. But you've got to buy your time and be flexible. Yeah, you need to be on it, obviously. But totally. Yeah. I'm not saying that, but I mean that you are right. You don't want to be glued to it. You need to be on it, but you don't want to be glued to it because you need to coordinate with your team. I've got it. I've tagged it. It's ours. Let's all push forward. Yep. Someone stand back if need be. Yes, exactly. But the thing is, it's harder when you're not playing in like a synergized team to kind of do that. But it's like if you start getting that into your mindset before, when you are in that kind of solo queue style of playing, like jumping into games online, before you really sit down with the team and do that, getting that under your belt and the idea of that going forward will really help you when you do step into a team scenario.